Before we begin, we want to acknowledge that some stories and discussions in this episode of Radiant Resilience may touch on sensitive and potentially triggering topics. These may include themes of cancer diagnosis and treatment details, medical trauma, emotional distress and fear around mortality, financial hardship related to medical bills, infertility, and menopause due to cancer treatment. Our goal is to share real life experiences in a respectful and empathetic manner, offering insights into the complexities of the human spirit and the journey towards resilience. However, we understand that some content might be difficult for listeners. We encourage you to prioritize your well being and discretion when deciding to listen. Please remember this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice or support. If you find yourself needing assistance, we urge you to seek help from qualified professionals or trusted support systems. Your mental and emotional health is important to us. Thank you for your courage and for joining us in a space of understanding and compassion.
But when you came back from the hospital, so you did the 40 days in the hospital for all that stuff, but you'd been basically bedridden for those 40 days and your immune system was completely wrecked. I think you told me that it reset everything. So you things like you have zero vaccines in your body now,
Yeah.
things like that, which is wild.
Yeah.
So you come home and you have to now reintegrate into normal life and your body is just not what it was. So what was that like?
It was crazy because, to be fair, this is another thing. I was not someone that asked questions ever. Like, my oncologist would be like, "Do you have any questions?" I'd be like, "Nope." And he'd be like, "I don't know why I even ask you anymore because you never do." It was the same thing with the transplant coordinator and that oncologist. They didn't tell me that I was going to lose every single vaccine I have had since birth. I didn't learn that till the first time they were trying to discharge me because they have a nurse come in with all your discharge papers and all the rules you're going to have to follow until
Yeah.
your white blood cells reach a certain amount or whatever. She was like, and then a year from now, we'll start redoing all of your vaccines that you've had for your whole life. We'll start redoing them. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, those are all gone now. You don't have anything. And it really was like shell shocked because I was like, I just went through all this work to live, to survive, to watch all my nieces and nephews grow up and get to experience all this. Now you're telling me if one of those nieces or nephews coughs on me, my life is at risk again? Like, it was just, I was so shocked. And I'm like, why would no one tell me that before? Thankfully, not thankfully. I knew someone from my high school. I think she was 1 year older than me. She had leukemia. She did a stem cell transplant, but it was with a donation from someone else. Mind you, she got out on day 16.
Of course.
But I didn't go there. So I was asking her for a lot of information. And I was like, when I found that out, I messaged her immediately and I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever heard. Do I just not go back outside my house for a year? What do I do? And she was like, no, you don't need to worry, which she had a young daughter while she went through this, which
Wow.
I can't even fathom. All I had was two cats. Yes, I missed my cats, but it's not a child. She was like, my kid, when I got out, my kid was in daycare and then she was in preschool. Kids are sick all the time. They bring home stuff all the time. She was like, she's been sick a couple times. It's gotten me sick. You'll be fine. Your immune system has to rebuild. It has to go through getting colds and getting sicknesses to rebuild anyway, because coming out of there, I'm essentially a newborn baby. My immune system is that of a
Wild.
newborn baby. But the way that she explained it, I was able to like calm down. I'm like, okay, like it's not gonna kill me to get a cold. Like
No,
everyone
but
gets.
aren't you nervous? I feel like I'd be nervous for the first one that comes around.
I can't even imagine the first time I get sick. I'm gonna be freaking out.
Oh,
But she
man.
was like, you just need to be aware. You need to be more careful. But you've been given a second chance at living your life. So you can't just
Yeah.
sit in your basement and hide away forever. And so when I first got home, it was also a matter of gaining my strength back up because
Yeah.
I was using a walker when I first came home.
Mm.
Like I couldn't, if I was walking alone on my own for too long, like I was about to pass out. Like it was bad. So I had come home, I was using a walker. Luckily, I live in my parents' basement. So to get to the kitchen, I had to take the stairs. There was no option. So I think that kind of kicked me into gear a little bit faster because I was getting my body up and moving a lot more, way
Yeah.
more than being on bed rest for 43 days.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped. Like the first time I went to the grocery store, it was like 8:30 p.m. on a Wednesday. So like nobody was there. So it was like easing into it. And then it's as soon as I get out, I'm hand sanitizing my hands. As soon as I get home, I'm washing my hands. It's just being aware of those kinds of things. For a while, we were just picking up food if we wanted to go out. I can't remember the first time. I think it was before my sister's baby shower. My friend wanted to go out to eat, and I was like, yeah, let's go out to eat. I wasn't even thinking. It was a Saturday night, and we went to Texas Roadhouse, which is like the only restaurant in this town. So it was popping, but it was ripping the band-aid off. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not gonna freak out and have a panic attack because I'm in a I'm in a restaurant on a Saturday. But I was like, I'm just gonna be aware of what's happening around me, and if I need to wash my hands or if I feel like someone's coughing near me and I need to move or something. But I don't think it's as severe as what I had built it up to be in my brain
Yeah.
because now my numbers of my immune system are like normal.
Yeah.
Like my white blood cells and everything, it's very normal.
Yeah.
It's what an average person is pre-chemo before everything.
Amazing. And you're young. Does that work in your favor too for that? Did they say?
I think it probably helps you bounce back quicker. I think other people might have bounced back a lot quicker than I did, but
You went through
where,
hell.
yeah. And I think where other people would have been struggling had I gotten out on day 16, I would have had a much lower immune system.
Okay.
I would have had to have been way more careful being at my house. Whereas because my hospital stay was so long, my immune system was a lot higher by the time I got back here anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely helped a lot. But my sister's baby shower was like, it was only like a week or two after I was home. It was really pretty quick. And there were a lot of people there.
And
And it
people that
was funny.
traveled too, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it was funny because it was a lot of my aunts. Like I would walk towards them with open arms, ready for a hug. And they were like, oh, are we hugging? Is that okay? And I'm like, if you're not going to spit in my mouth, I think we'll be fine. There's only so many ways, like a hug's not really going to get me sick or anything. I'm like, if
Yeah.
you're not sick, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just ripping the band-aid off. But now I feel so much more comfortable with it. Like I go everywhere, daytime, nighttime. I'm more than willing to go to the grocery store, leave the house. We've been in the movie theaters. I've been fine. And we're going to get on an airplane in 2.5 weeks. I
Yeah.
think that'll probably scare me a little bit,
Yeah.
being in an airport and being on an airplane, just because you're just in a tube with a bunch of people. But if I wipe down my seat and stuff with some
Yeah.
Clorox wipes and I'm washing my hands and I'm not touching my face.
They said after COVID that like they filter the air in and out of there. It's one of the like least like likely places for you to get sick. I don't know if they were just
Yeah,
saying that for kicks and giggles, but
yeah, yeah. The biggest risk when it comes to like germs spreading is when you're touching things with your hands and you're touching your face. So if you just don't touch your face and
Mhm.
if you're frequently washing your hands or using hand sanitizer, your risk is already going to be significantly lower
Yeah.
than if you weren't. So I really think it'll be okay. The only thing that scares me is my husband's side of the family and my in-laws. For whatever reason, they don't really believe in staying home when they're sick.
Oh, okay.
So that will be a minor concern because that's the side of the family we're going to visit. But also, we're going to see my nieces and nephews. They have 4 kids under the age of 4. That's
They're gonna be
pretty
sick.
scary. That's gross. So it's just more of being aware and being careful. But those the same nieces and nephews that we're going to go visit, they came out when I was still in the middle of doing my first chemo regimen. I spent a whole week with them and I came back and I was totally fine. And that's like with a lowered immune system from chemo.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of just like I've learned to be careful and I've learned what I need to do to keep myself not sick.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been sick since I got diagnosed. I've gone a full year of no sickness aside from
That's
cancer,
pretty,
but
well,
we won't
yeah.
count
That's pretty
that.
great.
Yeah. So I think it's just more of your awareness of it. And I'm pretty good about not touching my face, not touching my mouth, my nose, my eyes. I'm pretty good about that. And Ben and I are really good about washing our hands as soon as we get home from anywhere.
Yeah.
Like he comes home from work, first thing he does is goes to the bathroom to wash his hands. So it's just like adjustment things.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy.
Yeah. So how are you doing? Okay, we just said hindsight's 2020, but also you're pretty fresh out of all of this stuff because you said you just got your remission confirmation last week. So how are you doing looking back on all of this and processing it and the emotions of looking back on all of it?
I think now I have come to terms with everything to where I'm not like super upset about it or angry at the universe anymore. I feel like there was definitely a period of time where I was like 28 years old. I was planning my wedding. Like that got taken away. A business that I built for almost 10 years got taken away. There were a lot of things that went into it. Whereas now I would never want to say that I was like thankful for having cancer because I wasn't. And I don't think that anyone needs to be or try to reach that point of acceptance. But I do feel like it's like a restart button essentially because I do have a chance to do whatever I want and kind of like restart with wherever I want to be, but I don't even know what that is cuz my sister's going to have a baby anytime this next month and like because I had to shut down my suite, I have the availability to help her in any way, shape, or form that she needs and spend that time with her and with the baby. And then I think my mom are going to be duking it out to see who's going to be the nanny. But if Shelby figures it out and it's all good to go, and then that kind of releases me to go do whatever I want to do work wise, then I can do it. But I do think prior to this, as I had very like unhealthy work habits, I was definitely working way more than I should have. And I just had a very much a scarcity mindset when it came to my job and clients and working. And I feel not necessarily that I lost time with people, but it's a different way to look at things where I'm like, I don't need to be working 6 days a week. I don't need to be working 24/7, 365 just because it's my business or whatever. I do need to take time to go on vacations, spend time with my family, spend time with my friends. Like life is more than just working. And I think before that, it just I did not have healthy work habits.
Yeah.
And I wasn't healthy with the way that I did that. So it's if I do get behind the chair again, I want to work in a salon where someone else is managing all of that. I want to show up, do my job, and leave. I don't
Yeah.
want to be messaging clients. I don't want to be scheduling nothing. Like, if I have to do my own taxes, that's about as close as I'm going to get handling more.
Yeah.
Or if it's finding a new pathway or doing something different, I feel like it's given me the opportunity to change that up a little bit.
Like a forced reset. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of the times before being diagnosed with cancer, I used to be like, if this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing, or if this isn't the path that I'm supposed to be on, like I need a sign. And
Mm.
whether or not I want to accept that that was my sign,
Mhm.
because it was a really
Hey,
aggressive.
maybe there were smaller, more subtler signs before that, and you weren't
Yeah.
listening. So the
Yeah.
universe was like, here's the biggest sign you could have.
Literally. Yeah. Definitely a very aggressive and not a nice sign to have. But I do feel like it would be insane of me to jump right back to being and doing the exact same thing I was doing before.
Yeah.
So it's maybe I should take a look at that and do something different. So who knows? I'm in a blessed like time frame where it's like we are living in my parents' basement. Like I don't have rent to pay. I was very good with my money leading up to this point to where I have a very nice safety net where like I can still pay my car payment, I can still pay my student loans. We've been still working, so we're still saving. as this is all going on. So it didn't put me in the hole, thank God, and it didn't ruin us financially, which I know for a lot of people that could like definitely be the case. I'm very lucky to have the friends and family support that I had through all of this, because I know there's a lot of people that don't, and this could be like life changing in the worst way.
Yeah.
Whereas it wasn't a great experience to go through, but at the same time, like it didn't ruin me. It was more of like a wake up call that you never know how much time you have. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month. So it's like you need to spend your time wisely with your people that you love, and just don't take it for granted, because you just never know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna pause right there because my computer's about to die, but I have two other things I wanted to ask you about. So
Okay.
are you okay on time still?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Okay,
chilling.
I have to go get my plug and plug the shed in, so I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, right back.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
No, don't worry. I was wondering where the heck in your house that you were at, and then I realized it's your she shed.
Yep, in my little she shed.
I love
I
that.
thought that my computer battery could make it, but it couldn't. Okay, you ready to get back at it?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you just mentioned, you've been living in your basement, you had some savings, things like that. But I know, are you comfortable sharing what you saw was billed to your insurance company?
Oh, absolutely. It's a
'Cause
shocking number.
yeah, because we were talking about, like you said, not everybody has the luxury of health insurance, period, or even good health insurance, too. I know, like, I've had plans in the past that once you hit your out-of-pocket maximum, you still have to pay 10, 20, 30% of the bills. And so after hearing your experience with how much was billed to the insurance after all of this, like that could bankrupt people real bad.
Easily. I can't even fathom. Because I know that there's some people that are like, oh, if you don't have insurance, then you can just do the hospitals will have a discounted rate or blah, 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 which after all this, I still can't even fathom what that number would be, even if it was discounted. Luckily for us, I do believe how you were talking about how after you reach your out of pocket maximum, you still have to pay 10 or 20% or whatever. I think that's what we had in 2024 when he put me on.
Oh,
When it renewed for this year, my husband bumped my coverage up to the highest there was. The most
good
beefed, the
plan.
most beefed up plan you could get. And I was like, we don't know what's going to happen, so you might as well. Let me pull it up. I do believe that for my first 6 months, so from the lump popping up on June 2nd of 2024 until end of December 2024, I think what was billed from my providers to my insurance was like $700,000, something crazy. This time, let me open it so we have
And
a
this is
real.
including your 40 plus days in the hospital, your transplant, your
Yeah,
chemo, your every poke and prod that you had.
yeah, they're starting to get it all on there because that's why I checked it because I was like, this hospital stay has to start hitting this bill eventually. Like, we have to see what it is. Okay, let's see because it's gonna be crazy. This year alone, from January 2025 until this point, 1,533,417.47.
Jesus.
So if you add the 700,000, whatever it was from last year, it has been over $2 million that has been billed from my providers to my insurance.
Which is insane to
Absolute insanity.
I guess I understand that medical stuff is expensive, but there are people doing these treatments in other countries for a fraction of that price. Like,
Easily.
it is absolutely insane to me that is how much saving your life costs. And then, like, literally, okay, so what? 10% of that 1.5 million is that 150, 150,000?
Probably at
I
least. But
think.
that's not crazy.
Can you imagine? Like, even with
Even
you
that,
moving in with your parents, like having to
yeah,
pay, that's like having a mortgage almost.
there's no
Like,
way. Yeah,
like it's
there's
just
no way.
absolutely insane to me. I've
Yeah,
gone on so many rants on this podcast on the healthcare industry in this country. It's no secret, but
yeah, yeah.
that just, I don't know. And I don't know, like when you look at it at the end of the day, I'd love to know how much of that money actually gets down to like your nurses and things like that too. Who's pocketing that amount of
Well,
money? It's insane.
and it's not even like my insurance isn't even paying that much from what they've been billed because they might have been billed 1.5 million, but the total plan, the discount that you get because you have the insurance, that's 1.139 million. So it knocks it down to the plan. My insurance plan has paid less than $400,000 just this year
So
for
why are
my.
we billing that much?
So why is there $1.5 million being billed anywhere? Because they're not even paying barely a fraction of that much out of their pockets. And then out of my pocket is even less, thank God, because
Well,
I can't
sure. Yeah.
fathom what it would have been otherwise. But it's insane.
It's
It's
insane.
actually crazy.
Yeah, that's so much money. And that's just one person. That's just you. That's not
That's just me.
when you consider the amount of people in this country that are probably doing chemo treatments right now, do that times however many that is, which is probably a lot more than you would think.
Yeah. And the chemo's not cheap either because if I remember correctly, I used to look at the itemized billing a lot more because I was interested, whereas now I'm like, I don't even want to know. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure each one of my individual chemo treatments was something close to $18,000.
Wow.
So like I can't, yeah, thank God my husband had already proposed way before my lump popped up. And thank God we hopped on that immediately to get me on his health insurance because I can't even fathom what the medical bills would look like if we hadn't.
I
It's
mean, they
crazy.
bankrupt you. That's the only
It's
way
crazy.
to, it's just wild. I don't know. I guess I know you can negotiate and stuff. Like maybe you would have just been on a payment plan the rest of your life to pay it off, but like how fair is that too? Like it's
Yeah,
just, and that was to save your life.
literally. Yeah. And even then, even at the end of our lives, we still probably wouldn't have paid that whole thing off.
Yeah.
There's just no freaking way.
Oh, yeah. It's
It's
crazy.
very sick and twisted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. Anyways, so another thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I think this is something that people can relate to, is the things that people have said as you have gone through this process,
Yeah.
which I know going through my infertility journey, like people just say the most frustrating things, even though I want to acknowledge that most people want to be helpful. They have good intentions with the things that
Yeah.
they're saying. But for those who are listening who maybe want to be a better support to someone they know going through this, first tell me what you would recommend. What was the best thing that was supportive for you? And then let's talk about some of the things people said.
I would say one of the things that was like most bothersome to me in my mindset was like the toxic positivity
Mm,
of being like, oh, you got it. Oh, don't worry. This one's going to be great. It's okay. Maybe after my first scan or before my first scan, you could have been like, it's going to be great. Don't even worry. When that scan came back bad and the next scan came back bad and the next scan came back bad, I don't want to hear that anymore because obviously that's not what's happening. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're so strong. And it's, do I have a choice?
yeah.
Where is the choice? Where is the option in this? Yes, I am, but I have to be. There's nothing else you could
Just
possibly do.
what are you gonna do? Just give up and curl up in a
Yeah,
ball and because I can't do this anymore. No,
exactly.
you pushed through because you had to get through it.
Yeah,
Like you had to do the things and you had to face the things and you had to
yeah.
do it.
And that's what's like crazy about it is although it took me a whole year and countless treatments and all these different times and all this different money and all this different stuff, there are people that have to live with cancer forever. Some people, it is not curable. Like it can be sustainable where they take chemo pills at home or they go in for infusions X amount of times a month or whatever to keep them alive. But like some people, it never goes away. I'm really lucky that mine was a type that is curable and can go away, but you never know what's going to happen. Like every paper that you sign before chemo says you understand that this chemo could also cause secondary cancers. It's like a never ending loop. You just have no idea how it's going to turn out because everyone's different. There's no way of knowing. And so I think you're strong, you can do it. It's like, okay, maybe don't do that. And then, like there's just so much where they'll tell you a lot of it. Mindset has to do it plays such a huge role. Mindset plays such a huge role. Yes, I'm sure it helps to have a strong mindset and be like, I'm gonna get through this and I'm gonna do it. But it's also really normal to be in places where it's
Yes.
how am I going to get through this? How am I going to do it? Or why do I have to? Why is this fair? Why did this happen to me? Because we've gone through plenty of different retreats with our hairstylist business where they talk about like karma or what you put out into the universe is what you get back, or don't keep yourself in this bad mindset because it's only going to make it worse. And it's for some things, sure, I'm sure that is a proper answer and a proper thing to say. But like with a cancer patient, you can't really it's okay, karma. What did I do? What did I do to deserve this?
I think that's where I have a hard time with the mindset stuff is making it feel like it's your fault because you weren't
Yeah.
positive enough. Like you went to your transplant because you didn't think positively enough about your first round of chemo.
Yeah.
That's where I have a hard time with that stuff because it's absolutely not. Like that could have happened no matter how positive you were. And it's so hard because I feel like I do believe that to a point, like you said, for some things, but then some of these bigger things in life, sometimes shit just happens and there's
Yeah.
really not a whole lot you can do about it.
100%. And especially with the cancer stuff, because like I said in the beginning, like it's just one cell that goes rogue and that's it. Like game over. Then you have it and it's building and that's what's happening. And so it's like you can't really blame yourself because I have granted a lot of my friends are younger. Maybe they haven't dealt with any person in their whole life having cancer. I might have been that first person for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I had friends that were like, yeah, I've just been like racking my brain trying to figure out what could have caused it. And I remember I got so angry because I was like, first off, why are you racking your brain trying to figure out what caused it? It's me. It's my cancer. It's me.
Yeah.
Like, why would you be racking your brain? And then also then people just try to put in, oh, it's from unhealthy habits. Were you vaping? Maybe it's from all the processed foods you eat. Maybe it's from X, Y, and Z.
Which again is just putting blame on you.
100%. And it's just not the case. It's not the case because for a lot of people, it could be you're genetically more at risk, possibly, for it coming up. Because if you've got so many people, which is why I would have thought breast cancer or ovarian cancer, like, sure, that would have made more sense. This one, it doesn't make sense. That's nowhere in my genes. That didn't come from anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do research on it, there are no direct links to anything. There are people that get lung cancer that were smokers their whole life. There are people that get lung cancer that have never smoked a cigarette or never inhaled anything in their whole life.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a broad thing. And I think people assume so much of it. And like, I also learned because I did a bunch of research once I was officially told I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's a very American thing to have the belief that sugar feeds cancer.
Interesting.
In other countries, in Europe, everywhere else, that's not even a thing. It's not even on the table. And that's such a thing here that they're like, no sugar, everything needs to be clean. If you're eating something that says no sugar, what's used in there is a different sweetener that was created in a lab with chemicals and other shit. So it's like you're between a rock and a hard place if you try to go under that understanding. And then also for people like, I had some people tell me that I needed to alkaline my body.
Oh, what does that
My
mean?
body had gotten too acidic and I needed to start drinking alkaline water. Drinking alkaline water ain't gonna do fucking shit. Like, I'm so sorry, but it's not gonna do anything. It's not, and there's plenty of things you could do a coffee enema 4 times a day, and that's really gonna help. Like, sure, is it gonna clear some toxins out? Yeah. Is it gonna stop your stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 cancer? Probably the fuck not. Let's be real. I know there's different people that have said carrot juice. People went on like a carrot juice cleanse and then they went back and their tumor was like suddenly gone or shrunk significantly or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it happened for some people, but you can't make that be like your law for everything because like it's just not. You could tell someone that and then they could let their tumor grow drinking all this carrot juice and then they could die.
Yeah, so
Like,
have you heard of medical medium?
I don't know if I have.
So it's this guy who he wrote a book that's called Medical Medium. But anyways, he basically just talks about a lot of like food issues that we have causing health
Mhm.
issues and whatever. And his whole thing was celery juice. Was like drink celery juice every day. It's like a miracle. It'll cure everything in your body, blah, blah, blah. And then, so there was a lot of people in the infertility community who were reading that book because when we go through that rabbit hole of I have to do anything and everything into my body to try to make it better. And there were a lot of people trying this celery juice. And while I don't think it hurts anything, there
Sure.
was a lot of doctors in the infertility community online that were like, this is like not okay for him to be just preaching that this is going to make you fertile. Like it may have some health benefits. We won't deny that, but it's not going to fix your problems. And people were doing it in place of surgeries, in place of all these other things they should have been doing, thinking that was going to cure everything. And yeah, there's a lot of that kind of stuff, especially with social media, the way it is going around with that.
100%. Because I think it's ironic because I feel like when I was growing up, the adults in my life were like, don't believe everything you read online. Don't trust everything you read online. That used to be like the thing. And now it's if you read it on a screen or you read it online, you're like, I read this. I read this. It's like, girl, was it from The Onion? Because that's fake, right? That's supposed to be funny. There's just so many different things where it's, oh my God, there's no freaking way. And
Mhm.
especially for cancer patients or people undergoing chemo. If I were to have started chemo and then dropped everything the way I ate, the way I exercised, the way I did X, Y, and Z, it's not a time to make a drastic change in the way you're living your life because your body is already trying to fight something off.
Yeah.
So it's food is fuel. Let's keep fueling your body because you're essentially putting poison into it once or twice a week or once every other week, trying to kill off this cancer. So it's like you just need to do what you can do to survive and be comfortable right now. There's no need to drink only carrot juice, only celery juice, only vegetables. Just continue on as you are. Like, I don't know. I've seen some people who were after cancer, I don't eat processed meats and I don't eat sugar and I don't do this and I don't do this. Sure, that's probably great. I'm sure you're probably, maybe you're going to be a lot healthier. What are you going to do if you did make all those changes and something did come back
Mm,
or something popped back up? Because then what are you going to blame?
yeah.
Like, it's just kind of, you're either predisposed to it or you're not. And sometimes things just happen.
Yeah.
And it's the same with all the infertility stuff. Like, it's not fair. It just
Mm-mm.
happens. Like,
Yeah.
it's not fair. And especially now, post transplant, I'm essentially, right now at least, I'm pretty positive I'm in menopause.
Mm.
I'm having hot flashes like you would not believe.
Girl, I feel you on those. I had some of those meds that put me into
Oh
like
my
tricked my
gosh.
body into temporary menopause, and
Yeah.
man, those freaking hot flashes wrecked me.
Horrible. It's
Yeah.
horrible. Oh my God. I was not, last night was so bad because
Oh no.
especially when you're sleeping, like it wakes you up because you're just like, I'm so hot. I'm going to die.
I would be
But
like out to dinner with Colin in the middle of winter and like just start like sweat. I'd have to like wear layers and take them off and then go stand outside in the freezing cold to cool
yeah,
off.
yeah, it is horrible. And I've
Oh, I'm
done
sorry.
research on that side of stuff too, because there's some people who their menstrual cycles will return
Oh,
6 months, 9 months, a year plus down the road. I personally have not had one. My last one was right before I checked into the hospital for my transplant. I have not had anything since, nothing. So, as of right now, I believe all of my eggs are probably sunny side up. They've all been fried, they've all been obliterated. And that's just going to be it because until I'm proven otherwise,
yeah.
that's what I'm going to believe is my reality. Because I had talked to my oncologist post transplant and I was like, I'm having hot flashes. What's the vibe? What's the deal? Can we do anything? And she was like, your hormones are going to be really out of whack for a while. My whole body basically just hit a reset button.
Sure.
So she's like, you could go see your OBGYN, you could go see and try to be put on different hormone replacement therapy, do stuff like that. She's but it's so early.
Mm,
They're not going to do anything for me right now anyway.
yeah.
There's no reason because everything is still resetting. So a year down the line, if I'm still having hot flashes and it's still a hot mess, then I could possibly do it. But it also they might not want to put me on any sort of hormone replacement therapy because of the risks of other cancers.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that it's usually a risk with all that stuff. Yeah, even in a
Yeah.
normal person.
Yeah. So there's things that they could do, but I could also just be out of luck when it comes to that. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do.
Mm.
I remember at the beginning of all this when my oncologist was like, before we start chemo, do you want to do an egg retrieval? Do you want to freeze your eggs? And I was like, I'm a little more concerned with this second head I'm growing on my neck. Like, how about we just jump into that first? Like,
Yeah.
I'm really not that concerned about it. And he was like, I want you to go home, talk to your husband about it. We'll talk about it next time we meet. And if you decide to do whatever. But honestly, hearing from everything that you had gone through, especially egg retrievals, that sounds like the worst. The
I think
worst.
I think physically it was the worst
Yeah,
process. I think the transfers were probably emotionally harder.
for sure.
Yeah,
For
but
sure.
the retrievals, that's no joke. It is no
Yeah.
joke what they put your body through for that.
No. And hearing all that from you, having that firsthand account, I was like, honestly, if I already have to do chemo and go through all this, I'm not really willing to do that first. And also, I'm not willing to let it keep growing and spreading while
Yeah.
you're
While
trying
you
to
do
figure
that.
out getting these eggs out.
I mean,
So I was like,
that's a month-long process to do an
yeah.
egg retrieval.
And who knows how big that thing would have gotten? That was already like a little
Yeah.
ping pong ball. God knows how big that would have been by then. And, what if it would have gotten into my bones by then? It would have been stage
Yeah.
4. So I was just like, honestly, I don't care. And on top of that, if this is what my genetic makeup is now and this is what I have, I don't know that I would want to put one of my kids at risk for that just because that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
So it's really tough, but it's not, yeah.
But again, that was something that was taken away from you from this whole process that you didn't really get a say in either. You chose to fight cancer. So, but yeah, you didn't ask to get cancer. You didn't like,
Yeah.
but I imagine, I know at one point you had expressed to me that was just really sucky, right? Like it's sucky that you didn't get to make that choice yourself.
Yeah, I think when it first, it really opened up my eyes to the whole infertility community on how I was like, wow, yet mine had a direct cause and correlation of as to why that's what I'm in now. Whereas I'm like, I can't even fathom you just don't get that option whatsoever. Let it be my choice that I don't want to do that. To have it taken away is crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And another thing I will add about people telling you things, I have had people say, just because all of your eggs are fried sunny side up, whatever I want to say, that doesn't mean that you couldn't take one of your sisters and you could still
my
have a
life,
baby.
friend.
And I'm like, okay, first off, sure, that might be a scientific option to me.
Also, can we talk about that for a minute? Let's because I've gotten that before too. Let's really think about, sure, I could borrow eggs from either of my sisters. You have two sisters, I have two sisters.
Yeah.
They are mixing those damn eggs with my husband's sperm.
It's weird.
And that is like my sister and my husband having a baby together.
That is exactly what I said. I was like, oh, so what? So essentially, what I got to pick one of my sisters to have a baby with my husband, and then I'm just like, that's weird. And then also, I feel like eventually, further down the line, the older your child gets, would you not have to explain that at some point?
With the DNA testing that we have nowadays, for sure. It
And then
would
your
come
kid's
up
gonna be like,
eventually.
so my aunt's my mom, and it's like,
This is the thing, like, I've gotten a lot of that stuff, like, but at the end of the day, that entire situation is entirely, it's an extremely personal decision between you and Ben, and if it involves your family members. But I just like, even if you guys decide, sure, you could go do donor eggs, donor sperm, you could do surrogacy, you could adopt, you could do all these things. That does not mean that is the route that you and Ben are going to choose, and that's the best course of action for you. And that's what infuriates me about the entire thing, is that everybody just assumes that they have the answers for you, even with your chemo stuff. Eat better, drink this carrot. Everybody wants to cure it for you. And at the end of the day, you can't fix this for other people unless you're the doctor administering the chemo.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's where I've dipped my toes into the like infertility world side of things, where it's like, those are crazy decisions to have to make, or things to even have to think about. Cause it's sure like Ben might be chilling, but then to me, any kid would be half him, and then I'm just not in the equation. So that's weird too. I don't know.
And Colin and I talked about that too. And for us, it was more like, instead of excluding one of us, we would rather exclude both of us and then just adopt. That was our personal choice. And I haven't even decided if that's a route I want to go. But like, and that's just it. It's just not for everyone, and everybody has to make their own decisions on that. And you'll do your own research to figure out what you want and if you want to go those routes even, but it's not up to anyone else to force that on you.
No. And I think it's so easy when people aren't in that position and they're not in that situation, offer up all sorts of different things. It's like, until like you're walking in those shoes, it's impossible for you to even comprehend what that would feel like, or the thought process that you would go through to get there. So it's, if you want to be supportive, there's a lot of ways to be supportive, but maybe don't suggest all the ways that it could be solved, because don't you think we would have already thought of all of those things?
I mean, you said yourself in the beginning when you first got diagnosed, you did a ton of research. You went down the internet rabbit hole. It's not like we just are like, oh, okay, I have this thing and now I don't know. I'm just going to listen to my doctor and not think about the other things that I could possibly do to fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not realistic.
It's so much easier to minimize it when you're not in those shoes. And like, I feel like I learned so much from you
Mm.
going through so much of your infertility stuff with you that like I learned how to not react to people and things to not say. And so then it was funny because being put into the cancer diagnosis and going through all of that, I'm like, wow, there's so many different worlds where people try to do that. And I know some people do just have the purest intentions and they're not meaning to do anything. But at the same time, it's you sound a little crazy.
So, what are some things that were helpful to you? What are some things, did people do anything? Were there things that were said that were helpful? Or, like, for anyone listening, like I said, who wants to support somebody, what was helpful to you?
I would say, especially like post transplant, when Ben and I were in like in that apartment across the street from the hospital, like my mom had set up a few different like meal train situations, like helping people in the break it down to just the easiest, most simple. Can I bring you dinner? Can I bring you breakfast? What if I made you some of these and froze it? I think that was really helpful. And then just having the support of just listening and maybe not necessarily giving anything your own perspective in return or your own suggestions or whatever, but like just having someone to be a shoulder to lean on, shoulder to cry on. And a lot of part of it too was like, I don't just treat me like you normally would. I
Mhm.
didn't want to become my diagnosis. I didn't want to be like a cancer patient in everyone's eyes. I just wanted to be myself, just treat me like myself. Yes, I'm going through something crazy, but as long as you're aware of that, I still wanted to be invited out to do things, even if I was going to say no. Like,
Yeah.
just toss it out there. We're thinking about you, even if you can't. We thought we're going to do this day. We just wanted to let you know. Just like simple things like that. It doesn't have to be so crazy. But I do think it was just more of having, I had a lot of moral support, like from you, from Soul Tribe, from all my friends and family. I had a lot of moral support, which I think is the best thing you can do. But yeah, we don't need necessarily the suggestions or anything like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
just be supportive and be there for them as someone to listen to, or even just ask what you need. Because one of my friends, Angelina, I know you don't like it when people call you strong. She was like, but damn, girl, she was like, the shit that you went through, that was crazy. You are strong. I know you don't want me to tell you that you are,
Mhm.
but like, you are. And I'm like, no, I understand because it's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, it's
Well,
a complicated thing.
and maybe now you'll be a little bit more receptive to something like that, but like maybe in the midst of it, like you said, you're just feeling like you're in survival mode and you have to get through it. So, because it is pretty incredible what you just went through, and again, at your age and all that stuff, yeah, I can't. I look back on that for you too, and I'm like, oh my God, why did she just had to go through all that? It's wild. It's been a wild year, and we're all so happy that you're here on the other side, and now you get to do some self-discovery.
Yes, exactly. It's
But
a lot nicer. And I also think support for Ben, because for him it was like we were engaged, we were fiancés, and then we had to get married really quick, which I felt so bad because I was like, I don't want us to have to run off to the courthouse because I have
mm,
cancer. And he was like, when I like got down on one knee and when I proposed to you, like I was pretty open to the idea that we were getting married. He was like, that was kind of what was going to happen anyway. He's so, I don't really care that it didn't follow through exactly how we want it to, because like I was already signing up for that. We got tossed into the in sickness and health very quickly. And it was a lot. And I think he took on a lot more of it than he wanted to show that he did. And when I started to see that in him, I reached out to his siblings and I was like,
mm,
hey, like he's having a really rough go of it. Like, how about you guys reach out to him and show him that, you're there for him and you support him and you care. And I remember he came home from work that day and he was like, the weirdest thing happened. My sister and my brother both called me today. I was like, oh, that's nice of them. I'm like, what did they call you about? And he was like, they were just asking how I was doing. He's like, it was just really nice. I was like, that's good. And he was like, did you tell them to do that? I might have given them the gist of what was happening so that they would do that. Yes.
I think that's very important to note too, because everybody's thinking of you because you're the one going through the cancer treatments, you're the one with cancer, and I imagine I think I was guilty of it too. There were a couple of times that I did message him on like Instagram because I don't have Ben's phone number, but I was just like, "Hey, like, how's Paige doing?" And then I'd be like, and how are you doing? Because it's
Yeah.
true. Most of the time I was thinking of you because you're the one going through it. But like, he is probably the only other person in the world, maybe aside from like your parents and your siblings, that was walking that whole thing with you and having to watch the person he loves most in the world suffer and go through all that stuff and be on life support and be in the ICU. And I can't even imagine what that's like to watch someone you love go
Yeah.
through all of that too. And then hoping that you make it out on the other side too. That's,
Yeah.
I'm sure that he's had some trauma from all of this too.
Oh, for sure. And especially because in the hospital, I was there for 43 days. So was he.
Yeah.
Like, he was with me the whole time, which, like,
Mhm.
thank goodness he was able to take the family leave for being my caregiver essentially for that whole amount of time. But I was like, especially like, these moments stick out in my mind because, like, when they were about to bring me down to the ICU both times, I remember thinking, like, yeah, this is bad for me. But then I would look over at him and I would be like, he is freaking out. He
Mm.
might not be showing it on the outside, but I just knew that was so horrible for him because that's just, yeah, like you said, you don't want to watch the person that you love the most go through something so horrible. And so I was like, he felt bad for me. I felt bad for him. We were both just, this is just not fair for either of us to be in this kind
No.
of position. It's tough. It is. So
Yeah.
yeah, support wise, reach out to the main support person as well because
Yeah.
it's a lot to shoulder for
Yeah,
sure.
and they get lost in the mix because they're not the one like actually going through it, but really they are in the same
Yeah,
breath. Like,
yeah, exactly.
oh man, what an ordeal, my friend. But I'm so grateful that you came on to talk about this with me. I might have to break this episode into two episodes.
Right? I was gonna say we made that one a long one.
My timer's almost at 2 hours, so like,
Yeah.
but that's okay. I've done that before. But
Yes.
yeah, it was quite the story. Thank you for coming on and sharing it, and especially while it's all still fresh, because I know some of those feelings are probably still raw there. But what final parting words do you have for my listeners?
I guess if you or a loved one gets put into the position where they do become diagnosed with, even if it's not cancer, even if it's some other sort of illness of any sort or disability of any sort, like, it's not fair. It's from nothing that you did to cause it. Like, honestly, bad shit just happens. It just happens sometimes, and there's nothing you can do about it. It is important, I think, to stay as positive as you possibly can in your mindset. But even if you do have moments of weakness or of not feeling positive, that's okay too. And it's totally normal and it's totally natural. And I personally would say that I trust science. And I believe in science because that's what's gotten me to this point. But whatever makes you feel better and whatever makes you able to get through any sort of situation, there's nothing wrong with that. And don't blame yourself mostly, I would say.
Mm,
There's It's never your fault. Like, things happen to people all the time and it is not your fault.
just so hard to do sometimes, but we need
Yes.
to be reminded of that for sure.
Yes, exactly. Don't take the blame on yourself. Get mad at the universe, get mad at God, get mad at whoever you want, but the important part is that as long as you put your effort into spending time with your loved ones and your friends and your family and leaning on the people that matter the most to you, like, it's really the best thing you can do.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you, friend. I am
Yeah.
so glad we had this chat, and
Yes.
I'm excited to see what your next chapter of life is going to be. This is going to be
Yeah.
fun.
Yes. I have to re-get in the mindset to plan a wedding at some point, but
Oh, you'll
it'll
get
be
there.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be a wedding and a celebration of staying alive, still living.
I love that.
It'll be both.
Sure, that sounds great. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, my dear. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I appreciate you so much. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And we'll see you on the next episode.